I think he's the most talented tennis player that I've seen in 10 years.
National tennis now has a new bad boy.
You'll never guess, but Netflix has another docu-series. This time they are following the professional tennis tour. I watched the first 2 episodes, so let's get into this review. Nick Kyrgios is tennis's bad boy, and they followed him through the first episode. There's a clip in the episode where Nick is 9 years old and his mom is recording him, and Nick just flips off the camera. That's when you know you're in for a good one. They had Andy Roddick's take saying that he basically plays tennis part-time. How talented do you have to be to play tennis part-time and still be a top 15 to 20 player in the world? That is bonkers. Watching his episode reminded me of when he was in the Wimbledon final last year against Djokovic and was just putting on an absolute show. He was yelling at his box.
Okay, so kick her out. I don't know which one it is. I know exactly which one it is. So tell me, it's the one in the dress with the one that looks like she's had about 700 drinks, bro.
Also talked about how Nick beat Nadal at Wimbledon when he was 19, and that's what jolted his fame. I was not aware of said fact. Nick and his doubles partner, which was his childhood best friend, which is pretty sweet, they won a match and they were exiting the court, and Nick had an iconic quote. It was, "Don't F with us on Kia Arena. We move diff." That's the best. "We move diff" is a quote I need in my repertoire ASAP. Overall, I give episode 1 a 91. Andy Roddick was a personality that was interviewed throughout the series. He's the absolute man. They needed more of him. Every time someone talks about tennis, they talk about how it's lonely. I played tennis 7th grade on, and it's not lonely. I would call tennis very repetitive. You just play the same point hundreds of times, and then someone comes out on top. Tennis scoring is so complicated that they didn't even try to explain it in the documentary. They explained how you win sets and how you win an overall match, but they didn't even go into how you win a game that gets you the sets. Episode 2 is when reality set in and the honeymoon was over for this series. Episode 2 was brutal. A big problem with all of these series is they follow people you don't know. And because you don't know them, they end up losing. And so they'll build them up with all this hype, and then they just show them getting destroyed by Nadal. There was one good scene where the guy they were following, Berrettini, he was playing Nadal, and he goes down 2-0 and then wins a set, and all the interviews around him are really positive and motivational, and I was like, wait, does he go on and win this thing? Sure enough, he ends up just losing in 4 sets to Nadal, and that was that. In this episode, they also follow a couple on tour. So one of them plays in the women's league, one plays in the men's league, and they travel to the same tourneys, which is pretty cool. But after the 7th scene of them holding hands by a lake, I don't know what else to do. Overall, I give episode 2 a 27. And as a series for the first 2 episodes I've seen, I will give it a 61. That said, please let me know which other episodes Nick Kyrgios is highlighted, because I will gladly go back and watch those. As for the rest of the series, it's been real. Peace!